Hey everyone, how's it going? It's the Fiercezilla, and today we are going to do a figure review on the Bandai Japan Movie Monster Series Hedorah figure, or also known as the Smog monster. And yes, this is so far of it being the original colors of Hedorah, as there are a lot of different variations of color with this Hedorah mold, and we'll get into that in a second with one of the other Hedorahs that has a similar mold to this, or the sculpt I should say, to this figure here. But this one, as you can hopefully tell, it's a little bit more slimmer and a bit of a longer tail here. And as you can see, it consists of, for the main paint job on the figure, a lot of, well, mix of the gray, a little bit of a silver touch. And on the back there, you can see where it has that red-orange or very dark red color there. And in the middle, a very mustard yellow there on the back right here. And on top, well, kind of on the back of his head there, a little bit coming down on the cracks and the crevices of Hedorah's head there. And of course, underneath on the hands. But at the front of the hands, as you can see there, there's still part of that gray silver color there. But what about the bottom? Yeah, pretty much the same thing, all gray there. And last but not least, for the details on the color, but also, actually two more things. See a little bit of that same dark red or red-orange color right here, and on the other side as well, along with having those big red eyes there, and with, on the, not too sure on the name, but for the eye itself, has a mix of like a outer ring of black, and then the second inner ring being a also mustard yellow or very dark yellow, and the dotted eye there, the pupil I should say, is black. But let's see about the articulation. So with the articulation here on this Hedorah figure, it's going to be also a little bit similar with also the other retro figure that I have of Hedorah, and we'll get into that in a second for a size comparison to show you what I mean there. So with the articulation on this particular figure, nope. Fortunately, with the tail, there is no bending of, well, twisting or bending of, well, you can bend it as it is a vinyl figure, but can't really twist it or move it, as it's all just one big part of the sculpt of the figure. But what about the arms, you say? Well, the arms, yep, they can indeed rotate all the way around, but the way how Hedorah's, well, body is in general, there's some parts where it's gonna hit, so you gotta, almost like you're about to take it out and continue twisting, otherwise, as you can see there, it's going to be hitting parts of the body there. So just keep on almost like you're going to take off the arm and just go on ahead and twist it all the way around. Same thing on the other side, but may not be the same, or maybe just easier to rotate around than the other arm. He looks like he wants to give someone a hug. But alright everyone, now we're going to go ahead and dive into doing a size comparison along with other Hedorah 6-inch figures that I have, as mentioned about that retro version of Hedorah. And I also have the Bandai Creation Hedorah figure. So why don't we go on ahead and do a size comparison, and I'll show you what I mean about the articulation on also the retro version of Hedorah, and, well, the size comparison as well. So why don't we go on ahead and do that right now. Alright everyone, so as you can see here in the middle, we have the Bandai Japan Movie Monster Series, the standard Hedorah figure, the, well, standard look of Hedorah. As you can see on the far left here, we have the retro version of Hedorah. As you can see there, the colors are almost similar, but a little bit different, as the far left Hedorah is consisting more of purple and blue colors there, and much more of that mustard yellow color and orange eyes there. As you can see the differences between the eye color and the other color differences there, but also still consisting of that silver but darker gray color there. And on the far right, we have the Bandai Creation Hedorah figure. And with that one, you can very much tell that with that one, doesn't really have much of a characteristic there as compared with the other figures, as this one looks pretty plain, I guess you could say. Not too much characteristic there. Doesn't really have the same way of the arms, you know, more open and out to try to, you know, show the arms more. Whereas the Bandai Creation is just, I don't know, just there. Like, you know, just arms down and a very small tail wrapped around to one side. So let's go ahead and put this Hedorah there, and let's take a closer look at these two. So here you can see with the retro version of Hedorah on the far left here, it's a little bit more smaller as compared to the standard Hedorah figure of the Bandai Japan Movie Monster Series. And, well, as I said before, with this one, it seems more slimmer in comparison with this one here. Now, let's take a look at the arms for this one. And it's like the same thing, you just gotta, well, if I can do it, can I do it? Yeah, not the same. Well, I'm sure it has that same range of motion as I've done a figure review for both of these other two Hedorah figures. But for this one, not too sure if I had this much difficulty in trying to rotate it. Alright, there we go. So you can see there with on the retro version Hedorah there, the arms underneath are painted of a blue color. And I can tell you right now that this one is a little bit more difficult in trying to rotate the arms, as to where this one is a little bit more easier in doing that. So now let's see about for the tail. So right off the bat, you can tell that with the tail differences there, that with the smaller one, the retro Hedorah, the tail is more almost raised up or about to be, raised down to be flattened. But with the standard Hedorah figure, it looks like that Hedorah is about to raise the tail up, and so just having them like that, it's kind of hard to, since this one is bigger than this one, I'd say that the standard one, has a longer tail. Because I'm sure if it was flattened more, that would give, a better insight to showing how long the tails are between each other. And also to note with the back, you can see the unique differences there with the color, as the retro Hedorah is painted a lot more of color in comparison to the standard Bandai Movie Monster Series Hedorah of the standard version. So a little bit more effort went into painting this one as compared to having a little bit more of the brighter colors here on this one. But as this, is still the standard version of Hedorah. But even like with looking at this one, you can also tell there what the difference is, that, on the backs here, I kind of think of it as like they got backpacks, kind of, or, just a very large bulge on their backs. But I guess a better way to really look at it is kind of like, they have some kind of, large bump on their backs, whereas for this Bandai Creation Hedorah doesn't really have that characteristic there, nor having a extended tail. But yeah, everyone, that's pretty much what you could expect out of getting the relatively new mold or sculpt of this standard version of Hedorah, as I'm sure by now they're still making different color variations of Hedorah, but I believe it's with this sculpt of the figure and not really the one in the middle. So if you're interested in getting this Hedorah into your collection, I'd say go for it, because I'm sure it would go well with, if you have a Showa Godzilla. So I'd say that this figure is definitely a must-have in your collection if you haven't gotten it already, or if you missed out on getting the first initial release of the other Hedorah figure that looks similar to this one but looks more like this one, if you know what I mean by that. But alright, everyone, I guess that is gonna conclude on this figure review. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the video, leave a like. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a future upload on the Fiercezilla channel. Alright, everyone. We will see you in the next one.